Thanks for staying with us. So the executive chairman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Brigadier-General Buba Marwa, has urged political aspirants going for public offices to come for a drug test. According to him, I have said it before and I want to repeat that politicians going for public offices in 2023 should come for drug tests. Now, IPAC has responded saying that, how can you say that kind of thing, that it is wrong for you to even, that these are people who are serving the people, and they have untainted characters. How would you subject them to that kind of procedure? That the people that are collecting money from the streets, the police, the army that are collecting money on the streets are the ones that we should be subjecting to these kinds of drug tests. But what are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 08127053687, 09139076948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Do you think that all those who are running for offices, not just at the presidential level, but at all levels across board, local government, House of Representatives, should undergo this process? Because do you think it's the right thing to do, or do you think it's not necessary?
100%. I think that we'll be in agreement that 100% necessary for us to do this. And this is not because we're saying...
questioning their character.
We're not questioning their character. I think that they say charity begins from home.
Yeah.
And you must exemplify, if you want a society that is sane, they must see from the leadership that nobody is above the law, nobody is above being tested, nobody is above being checked. We've seen cases where people, police officers under the influence do things they shouldn't do. So we are saying, okay, check police officers, but some people are above the law, they can't be checked. In a society that currently, with the way things are in Nigeria, I believe that for the change we desire, there should be nobody that will be exempted from any check necessary to certify that you are able to lead. Now, there are many gossip. We read it online. It's not true. We don't know if it is true. Allegations that many of our politicians use drugs to sustain the pressure of work. That they use drugs to keep awake, use drugs to sleep, use drugs to be active. And we hear these stories, and it filters around. So it would be interesting to say, but I say, I'm free from any, I'm not involved in any of these things. You can always test me randomly anytime. I want to contest for position. I show you my tax returns. I show you everything. And I also show you that I am not under the influence of drug. I can make rational decisions.
That's awesome. I agree that this test should be carried out. And I think the NDLEA should be applauded, because when you give somebody a job to do and the person decides to do it to the best of their ability, to nip everything at the bud, that person should be congratulated. And this is not a direct attack on politicians. Like Tokbe mentioned, you need to lead by examples. This is a generation where young people do what you do, not what you say. You know, we pass that level where your parents will tell you this is what you should do, and then go behind and do something different. Your children will be looking at you. They will do the same things you're doing. We've talked here that students need to undergo this test. NYSC core members need to undergo this test. Couples need to undergo this test. Police officials, security officials need to undergo this test. Then why can't politicians undergo the test? Why can't the leaders lead by example and undergoing the test? Another thing that I feel is the NDLEA has been fighting this crime over and over, and they have been catching drug barons, big ones, worth billions of drugs. Who do you think is patronizing these people? They want to just tick the boxes. They want to be sure that it's not our leaders that are involved. Because how many ordinary Nigerians can afford to buy some of these very heavy drugs that we see these barons? Who are they selling? Who are their customers? The NDLEA needs to check the boxes, and this is not the time to feel because we have decided to lead, you people should respect us. This is not your family members you're talking to, or your family people that, because you're my father, I must respect you. You are a public office holder. You need to earn that respect.
But what is interesting, I must quote the national chairman of IPAC. That's the inter-party group. So his name is Yabagi Sani. He said that he demands an apology from NDLEA and strongly warns that the anti-narcotic agency to desist from impugning on the character and integrity of politicians, including those contesting for president, who are patriotic, highly respected, well-accomplished statesmen. You see, when we hear things like this, it's like anytime we want to do something, they throw in the card of, impute? How would you
How dare you?
question the integrity of who we are? Do you know who I am? Do you know how I've suffered for this nation? And why do we always put that forward? Because it's a show of leadership, as you had said earlier.
Yes.
If indeed, after you've seen the fight that NDLEA has been fighting for the past few years on this issue of narcotics, it's time for you as a leader, if you're running for, let me even show that I'm also against, I'm also in this war against drugs in our country. Shouldn't that be a demonstration of your involvement in ensuring that we are helping the youth to eradicate drugs amongst them?
So, Mariah, if someone, let me just throw it this way. If someone accuses me of being a thief, and I know I'm not a thief, I'll feel angry. Like, I am not a thief. I would never steal from you. I would be insulted, and I would force that indignation of, how can you accuse me? That would happen. That's a normal reaction. But the next step is take my account balance, check everything.
Go and check, yeah.
That's the next thing.
But he was.
That's the next thing.
No, wait, let me correct you small. Let me correct you. They weren't accused. So you're a thief, right? I'm just saying, sir, I want to check your account balance.
To be sure you are not a thief.
Nobody called you.
But I'll first say that. How can you? That means you are assuming I'm a thief. So I can be angry that you are assuming. If you are pointing and accusing figure that I'm a drug addict. No, I'm not. How can you even say that? That's disrespectful for the years of service. Oh, yeah, come and chest test me. That's the next line of action. The next line of action from IPAC, and every politician should be, I'm angry that this NDLEA boss can even have the effrontery to think that I've been leading this country under the influence. Come and test me. That's the next action we want from you, to ask boldly to be tested.
It's interesting.
Because the decision is impaired. If you are under the influence, your decision, you cannot make rational decisions under the influence.
We see that,
many of this, it took a drink today, red wine, 1 cup, not a problem. But addiction is the problem. And when people know this is your weakness, they would exploit the weakness for their own advantage. And we have that weakness.
This can also be another avenue to score some
good points.
Good political points.
Yes.
So, for example, a candidate comes for, you know what, NDLEA, come and test me.
Come and test me, I'm free.
I'm free. And then blast it on front page.
Yes.
If you're a candidate, also come and do your own. It's an easy way to score political points with Nigerians.
Yes. Also, we want a change, and that change includes a cleanup of our system. I want to see Nigeria get to a stage where schools from other countries study how we have come out of all these quagmires, study how we have become on top, how we have led, how we have shown, how we have changed and overhaul of our economy at some point. And these are some of the radical steps that we have to take if we really need to clean up the system. So for me, it's not about you personally. It's like I'm getting a job in one of these multinationals, and they say, okay, the requirements for this job is that you are tested. Will I go there and be screaming, you don't trust me? We don't know you. We don't care.
You know what? YK said something that we also need the lie detector tests.
Yes.
So the same thing, we need to bring. See, all these are ways, these are innovative ways.
To clean up the system.
To let us know that we have real leaders.
Yes.
So take a lie detector test, take a drug test. Let's be sure that the person, the people who are running this country in 2023 are people who are actually
sane enough
and sane to do so.
So we also do something. We have them declare their assets declaration. And while we haven't really had enough convictions of people after they've left office that, oh, this asset that you declared has increased in a way we cannot explain based on your revenue, it is everybody submits themselves to it. And they're expected to declare your assets. You cannot say, oh, what do you mean? You want to know what I have. And you say you don't want to declare because that's the condition. I believe that it should go beyond, it should become a law.
Yes.
That testing is not a suggestion by the NDLEA, but it's a law, a legal requirement, because we don't want someone that will become a leader of this country to be someone who cannot make decisions except he's under the influence, or who is perpetuating under the influence and is making inappropriate decisions. And there are many other things.
I'd like to link this story to our second story, which is that, according to reports, the Kingsmen of former Plateau State Governor Joshua Dariye and his Taraba State counterpart, Reverend Jolen Yami. Remember them? They were arrested and convicted. And our dear President Buhari gave them
presidential pardon.
So you recall that story? We all took it recently. Anyways, all their family and Kingsmen are reported to be planning a grand reception for these men following their release from jail after they were sentenced for grand corruption. No, not even corruption. Corruption. So remember, this has happened for the when Bode George came back.
Yes,
lots of
that one, yes.
Pomp and pageant. There's another person.
Delta State's governor,
Yes,
former governor James Ibori.
Yes, Ibori. I remember Ibori. Yes,
Ibori
they danced and everything. So they're also planning for Dari and Niamey also. I mean, so it just goes back to the kind of leaders that we have
and the kind of people that we are. Because we are our leaders. Yes, we are the ones dancing. We are the ones. So you know what I think, Mariah? I think that at a subconscious level, we like our situation. At a subconscious level, we are not collective. As long as I can satisfy my household, my children, and my grandchildren, and my children's children, every other person can go to hell around.
Absolutely.
That is how we are. Until we get to a point where we become collective to understand that this money this person stole would have built good schools. This money this person stole would have paid pensioners who are dying. This money this person stole would have built medical care. This money this person stole would have made lives of these citizens better. Till we start thinking that way, Mariah, we will still be going round and round in circles. Because today, okay, it's not me. Tomorrow, it's not you. Next tomorrow, it's not this person. And then we celebrate people who open eyes and impoverish us because we are beneficiaries. So those people that are planning this party must have benefited one way or the other from this money that was stolen. They must have gotten contracts. They must have gotten things from that. So because I have benefited, now my person.
So maybe Nigerians don't understand the meaning of convicted. Maybe they're not sure. Maybe they're not. Maybe people that they don't understand what convicted is, and they actually went to jail. No. This man, like you, not that they suspected that you committed it. They convicted.
Like they caught red-handed. They tested.
Red-handed. They understand.
They checked, investigated. Their lawyers and SAN couldn't prove they were not guilty. That is the level of conviction.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we need to put this together. So we're asking leaders to take the drug test, take a lie detector test. Now we're having leaders who are coming out saying, if we even take these two men, put them under lie detector test. Okay, come on. Maybe the grand jury maybe they were wrong for convicting you. Come on, go under a lie detector. Let's be sure that you actually did not steal. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this disturbing news that our politicians are saying they do not want to go on the test for drugs, according to as suggested as NDLEA, and also the fact that recently we're connecting that story with the fact that family and friends of these recently released convicts of Darie and Nyame are going to be planning a reception to receive them. And we're saying, is it necessary? Do our leaders even understand how Nigerians are feeling? Do they even understand the need to demonstrate to us that they are above the mentality on ground, in the sense that if you're a leader and you know that you've been convicted, to humble yourself, to know that, okay, to humble yourself in shame that you were convicted, you shouldn't even do any party. They shouldn't even do any party for you. Tell all your followers. Tell all your followers, please, don't call party. Let me just go and do my retirement home and stay quietly. They're not doing that.
So, we have a huge challenge on our hands as citizens. If a big man's head chooses not to be correct, will the sycophants around him even help him balance his head?
That's why they're sycophants.
So people, many of our leaders are surrounded by sycophants, people that tell them what they want to hear, people who have blinded themselves because of what they want to eat. Temporary gratification has made them lose their sense and sell out their generations yet unborn. Because you are around power, you have a huge responsibility. If you are around power, you owe the person holding the power, the truth at all the times. Because what we hear is people around politicians telling them, oh, you will win the election. It's impossible. Who do they know? You have nobody needs to vote. You've already gotten into power. Oh, you are the one, you are the Messiah. But you know in your heart that you're only saying that because of what you will eat. But you're causing us as a nation a huge setback. So people were saying maybe they don't understand what conviction means.
No, that's Mariah that said
Mariah was saying that because if a man gets convicted, if a man at the level of governor gets convicted, trust me, he has spent millions and millions and millions to try and get inside out of prison. It did not work. So he got convicted. Such a man is guilty by all standards. So why would you, as a family member and friends and relatives, create a party, a reception to welcome a guilty man. You can welcome him because, okay, when prodigal son comes back home, of course, in the house, we'll cook for him that we are happy you have come back home, but not a party celebrating. And because that party celebrating is to tell everybody around that all you need to do is still at the highest level so that you will get your conviction waived and you will get a celebration at the end of the day. We are setting priorities.
Let me take a call. Timmy, good morning from Abuja. You're live. Hello, Timmy, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bisi.
Yeah, so what I say is that we are now a country that lacks integrity. Our leaders lack integrity. The people lack integrity. We're just having a conversation where somebody sells hair and then you pay 150K and you get a hair of just 30,000 naira and the person walks around freely like nothing has happened. We are now a country where we can boldly cheat ourselves and we don't care. The safest way they catch now be thief. Everybody's stealing. We're now a country where the values that we uphold are now just about wealth and what we can eat, what we can do, the clothes we can wear, the trips we can go to, the houses, the cars we can ride. That is what Nigeria has become. And because of that, people will do whatever it takes to get that form of satisfaction that I gained this from this person. And if they see that they can gain from you, if you're a political holder in the town, in the city, and they are close to you by proximity, and they just feel they can gain something from you, nobody will tell you the truth. Nobody wants to be the one that will be called a bad person. Nobody wants to be ostracized. That's the situation that we have found ourselves. And right now, for us to have a change, we need to begin to change our mindset. We need to begin to redefine our values, what matters to us. Should we not uphold integrity as what matters? Can you carry that integrity when you are hungry? We need to start asking ourselves the question. That's why we're saying, give the people the basic things that will satisfy their basic needs, and you see that everybody will align. The fight that we see today where people need to sell their souls for a morsel of bread is because there is no bread available.
We have to wrap up on this, but I think one of the most important things that we fail to realize is perception is reality.
Yeah.
What we perceive the leaders do is the reality we understand of it.
Yeah.
And if we can perceive that a leader sees taking the drug test as an insult to his integrity or who he is, refuses to, that in itself shows that they're even above board and above standard, above moral obligation to us. If we feel that the perception we see that a leader who was convicted of financial crimes is easily pardoned and then is celebrated. Perception is like, you know what, just like you said, still get a pardon and you'll be still honored and celebrated.
Just still big so that you can be.
When we say that we need a drastic change in this country, it's because we truthfully indeed need a drastic change. We have to wrap up on this. We can't go further, but I think our summation is that we need real fresh thinkers.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We need totally fresh thinkers. And I think this is an indication to Nigerians that if there's somebody like Yagbari Bani who is still saying that how can NDLEA try this, it means it's clear that he still feels that it's the Nigeria of old.
Yes,
yeah.
so
you know, those like, you cannot
challenge your leaders.
You cannot challenge. So we have to. I'm told that we have a final call for a runoff. Good morning. Are you there? Odwanya, you're live. Go ahead, please. Odwanya, are you there? Okay, let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.